All I can think about is Absolute Batman. No, for real. Basically, since I dove into Absolute Batman, it's all I've been able to think about for the past few weeks. Right now, we have the first 6 issues, and I've been reading each issue in my spare time and writing about it on my blog. Now I want to talk about it here. This video is for April 8th, 2025, which means tomorrow is New Comic Book Day, and issue 7 of Absolute Batman is coming out, and I am super duper excited. So let's talk about the story so far. So first of all, Absolute Batman, it takes place in this new continuity that Scott Snyder is leading called the Absolute Universe. Now, in a nutshell, what's happened is there was this event called the Absolute Power event, and basically, from what I understand, nerds, you can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Basically, the outcome of that event is what has spawned this new Absolute Universe, and with that comes Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Green Lantern, and Absolute Flash. The first one I jumped into was Absolute Batman. I loved the first issue. I read it several times to really try and get the meat of it and understand what is different about this Batman, and howdy who, we got a lot of things that are different about this Batman. Overall, it's a giant initiative that's happening right now this spring for DC Comics, and I'm really hoping that it will continue past this spring and become the next big thing because it is awesome. I'm just going to kind of go through the basic plot and just kind of talk through it a little bit. Essentially, Bruce Wayne is a blue collar worker. He is not a billionaire. There's lots of things about this Bruce Wayne that immediately jump out to me whenever I read the first issues. One of the biggest ones being it seems to be like this Batman is basically in his year one era, which we know the year one Batman, it's this unrefined person. Like Bruce needs to make these decisions, like he needs to define what being Batman really is. And we totally get undertones of that pretty much throughout the entirety of this series so far, and it is really, really cool. The only difference, though, is usually we see Bruce Wayne kind of holding back and maybe just being a little bit gritty. This Batman does not care. Like, he literally does not care. He chopped a guy's hand off in issue 1, kind of took me by surprise. It doesn't look like he enjoys hurting people, but you can definitely tell that he doesn't care at all, which has kind of always been the joke about Batman. It's like, yeah, he doesn't kill, but like he beats the crap out of people and then they like have to enjoy every meal for the rest of their life through a straw. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, this Batman he doesn't necessarily give you a good feeling. Like, he feels like he could be a bad guy. And as the story progresses, we start to see that that is totally intentional. We'll get to more on that in a second. Nick Dragotta, I believe is how you pronounce his name, has done a really great job of making this Batman feel scary and menacing, but also still familiar and like endearing, which also makes it kind of confusing when you read because it's like, man, should I be rooting for this guy? Like, which ultimately that is kind of what Batman is supposed to be. It's this crazy guy that is dressed up in this cape and cowl, running around Gotham City doing God knows what. He's a vigilante, right? This Batman encapsulates that so well. There's some other notable things like Alfred, we kind of see some parallelism. Alfred and Bruce are not friends, really. Alfred is like tailing Bruce and like kind of stalking him throughout the entire thing, and eventually he does try and team up with Bruce, but Bruce is kind of like reluctant to accept, which is a complete juxtaposition to what we know about Bruce and Alfred and their relationship. Usually it's like a father figure, but it's been kind of interesting because like Ra's al Ghul is totally the vibe for Alfred. Like, the design is really similar, like he has a similar vibe. It kind of echoes the League of Assassins, the League of Shadows, whatever, them trying to kind of like appeal to bring Bruce in while he's already established as Batman. So we're kind of getting those undertones here with Alfred kind of filling that role, but we're also getting like a Batman Beyond type situation as well, except Bruce is basically Terry McGinnis and Alfred is basically an older Bruce Wayne. So I don't know. I feel like there's all these little things sprinkled in that make you just kind of go, whoa, like that is a different take for sure. It just feels fresh. Like, I really, really like it. It's really speaking to me just because I've consumed DC stories for a good portion of my life and I enjoy them. I don't know everything, but I'm just enjoying something new being done. Speaking of new, all that stuff with Alfred is out of the way. One of the biggest shockers is that Bruce Wayne's mom, Martha, is still alive in this universe. Giant shocker. Commissioner Gordon is in fact not Commissioner Gordon, it's Commissioner Bullock, and Gordon is just a detective. And guess what? Gordon and Martha are totally friends, which, let's be real, Commissioner Gordon has always kind of been a father figure to Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. in pretty much every story that we read. So to see Martha and Gordon kind of like, like they're totally friends, you know what I mean? It's just an interesting take, and I think it makes total sense, and I like it. So that's another kind of crazy thing. I said I would get to it eventually. When I say that this Batman isn't overtly good, we are shown multiple times in the books that this version of Bruce Wayne basically was friends with the younger versions of the villains. We see pictures spread throughout all the different comics. We see villains. It's like, that's obviously the Riddler. That's obviously Penguin. And Bruce is friends with all of them, or at least has been, but he's kind of been on the outskirts from the friend group for a while. So they're really trying to paint this picture of like, is Bruce a good guy or is he a bad guy? And it's just really, really cool to see. And eventually, I think in issue 4 or 5, they even paint that picture to us. They give Bruce an ultimatum. He has to choose between joining Alfred or joining the bad guys. At the time, it was pretty evident Snyder wanted us to think that maybe Bruce would join these new bad guys known as the Party Animals. Haven't really talked about them yet. Spoiler alert, we get kind of let off the hook in issue 6. He, in fact, does not join the bad guys. Again, I'm just kind of talking about my thoughts and my feelings about the series as a whole. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm just trying to, like, solidify how I feel before issue 7 comes out and before I read it. I really do like the new bad guys that are fashioned after Black Mask. The Party Animals are scary, like straight up. Party Animals, no bueno. I was really happy to see the way issue 6 ended. I thought, they made us think that Bruce might join the bad guys in issue 5, I believe it was, but then they let us off the hook in issue 6, like I said before. And we still don't have this definitive understanding of who this Bruce Wayne is. We just know he's not one of the bad guys, but he's not necessarily a good guy. He may be a true anti-hero. But only time will tell, the story continues to unfold. And who knows, like maybe at some point there'll be some bigger picture stuff coming into play, like are these things going to cross over in any way? Like, it'd be really sick to have like an absolute Justice League, but I don't know, that may never happen. Ultimately, I'm really enjoying Absolute Batman. I think the first 6 issues are just so fun to read and just kind of shocking just because you're not really expecting it. Keep in mind, I speak with no authority. These are simply my opinions. I'm obviously talking about the story so far, and I'm probably not hitting everything that I should be hitting. Some things that come to mind is, Martha Wayne, she's still alive, but there's still been a tragedy. The tragedy is that Bruce's dad died, and the entirety of this arc has been called the Zoo. And we're kind of getting reflections of this traumatic event and how that kind of shaped the idea of where the Batman came from in this universe. A lot of times we get revelations shown to us about how Bruce became the Batman or why he became the Batman. I think they're trying to subtly show us through this whole thing that he's still in the process of becoming Batman, thus reinforcing kind of that year 1 mentality. Anyways, these are my thoughts on Absolute Batman issues 1 to 6. It's April 8th, 2025. I'm really excited for issue 7 to come out. If you like to read and you want to hear my thoughts first about whenever I read a comic, definitely go check out my blog. Let me know what you think. So that's all I got for you today. And what are you thinking of the Absolute series? Have you checked it out? Which ones have been your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's all I have for today. So I'll see you next time.